Hey there, welcome back to the OB podcast. All right, let's unpack this avalanche of economic chaos through some TikTok rants because we are diving deep into the inflation crisis, paycheck woes, and the struggle to keep our heads above water in the OB podcast. First off, can we just take a moment to acknowledge the sheer madness of paying $8 for a medium oatmeal latte in the middle of Missouri and also all over the country and everywhere in the world? I mean, come on. What happened to the days when a cup of anything was just a couple of bucks? Millennials out here struggling to afford their basic treats, and we are witnessing the coffee apocalypse unfolding in real time. Let's go straight to this rant and let's see what we take out of it, and we give our reactions as the video goes along and at the end of it. You too can drop your comments below what you think about this current inflation crisis.
The US is completely unhinged when it comes to our prices. So I'm in the middle of the country right now. I'm in the middle of Missouri, where visiting my parents where they live, and I just went to a local chain coffee shop and got a coffee. This latte, it's a medium oat milk latte. It cost me almost $8. Like, I'm not in a big city having a fancy coffee. This is a drive-through coffee in the middle of Missouri just cost me $8. I swear, if millennials can't even afford their little treats anymore.
I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about the inflation crisis and a resolution. Oh, wow. Evidently, you guys think we are way more intelligent than we are. I'd first like to thank you for thinking that I am the person to ask about this. And I am, because I have all the solutions for this world and the financial crisis. If you don't like it, make more money. We should focus on what's happening here. We've got people on the streets. We've got a lot of sick people. We got a lot of people who lost their businesses over COVID and inflation, and a lot of people I think it's 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. We need to stop learning about some bullshit in schools and learn about financial literacy at a young age, because I came out of college, I had no idea how to use a credit card, no idea that, at the end of the year they're going to tax you this much. Like, we really need, I think that is something, so that's my resolution, is to instill financial literacy in high school. I think that's a good age to start.
I just had this thought, as like rent prices are through the roof, inflation's super high, everybody's broke, everybody's paycheck to paycheck, we're pulling from our savings, we're using our credit cards to pay our rent or mortgage, and people are drowning in financial issues. I mean, it's across the board. But what I was thinking, like, how many couples, dysfunctional, toxic couples who should have broken up years ago, are still together just because they can't afford to live on their own? How many?
This makes sense.
Like, it's probably an epidemic of it. There's probably so many domestic violence situations or abusive situations are still persevering because it's too expensive to be alone. It's too expensive to live on one income. So people are suffering. I wonder what that statistic is,
It makes sense.
I'm looking to date somebody so we can sleep platonically next to each other and I can have the rent I pay.
So an inflation chip. Ain't in here.
As someone who holds, domestic violence issues super, super close to my heart, I hadn't even thought about that statistic. I do wonder what the statistic is because, as that lady had said,
exactly,
people might be staying in situations that they should not be staying in because they can't afford to be out on their own.
To be honest, I didn't think of that statistics too until now. That's why it's all good for us to do our research, share these videos, and try to think of things that might be happening. Perhaps they'll help to better our lives. But things like this are very important. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you'll be able to get some infos like this. If you're curious enough, you'll be able to drop it in the comment section what that statistics is.
Domestic violence, a part of it is financial abuse, and when someone can't afford life, they're forced to stay.
Everybody's at home trying to scrape together their utility payment or their house payment or their rent payment, or they're trying to find an extra job just to get through the month.
My rent was $1,700 a month for a one bedroom. And then I got a notice that it was going up to $2,200. So I said, peace, see ya, I'm not doing this. And then I get a call that's like, oh, was that price the problem? Like, we can fix that. And I'm like, were you playing chicken with my rent? Why would you? Peace, done.
So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, this is exactly why I had to do what I had to do. So literally in 3 days, I move out. I already put in my notice. I already paid my October rent. I have not planned on paying November's rent yet, because the way that they broke it down, again, it's paying $1,500 and then an additional $600, and that additional $600, which is a prorated rent, I'm gonna just let them take that out of my security deposit, because at this point it's just pointless. There's no point. Long as they don't give me a bad record and a bad name, I can get another apartment. Once I get back this weekend, I'm gonna go ahead and start apartment hunting and then show y'all which apartment I picked. I already have 2 picked out, so we're gonna see how I go. But I'm out of there. I'm gone. So
at a certain point, people are just not gonna be able to live here anymore, bro. Like, it's low key. There are gentrifying.
Before this border continues, let's talk about the income versus cost of living. Salaries are really lagging behind, like, a tortoise in some kind of a hair race, while home prices they keep shooting up like they are on some kind of a race or rocket to Mars. It's a recipe for disaster. I don't know why the authorities don't see this.
The same way they gentrify hoods and turn them into nicer areas with Starbucks and Whole Foods, they're doing it low-key to the middle class at this point. Like, you're going to start pushing out middle-class Americans. They're going to have to start moving and getting visas and shit to go to other countries, because we can't keep up with this shit. People that are living in normal cities, not even like downtown areas, Miami or anything like that. They're living in like, Ocala and stuff. It's getting expensive for them, even that they have to think about moving to places like, North Carolina, South Carolina, Mississippi, Missouri, like places, rural areas where it's cheaper. If they start building a Starbucks or a Chipotle around the corner from you, just know that your rent is going up $400. And there ain't nothing you can do about it.
So I pull up to the gas station because I need some air in my tire, and this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. $2 for air? I will come in your station, get a straw, and blow my tire up.
That's my
before
girl.
I pay $2 for your air, sir. Thank you.
Let's go medieval.
I think something that's not talked about as much is for your auto insurance. I know my own car insurance premiums, we have 4 vehicles, 4 drivers, have increased since January of this year by 45%. And that,
which is insane.
That's crazy,
totally insane.
Like, to have to pay 45% more, and that's not even a year. That's just like 10 months have passed. So every time it gets renewed, it's like everybody's goes up. So every 6 months, all the premiums are increasing, and not just by like a couple dollars. It's like significant.
And it's not
increases.
due to like accidents or a change in cars or something that you would think would cause that. It's just they're just increasing.
So I can only imagine if we did have tickets and accidents, like how unaffordable that would be.
Let's all act surprised, shall we? This is my surprised face.
More than half of Americans with an income of $100,000 a year or higher say they're living paycheck to paycheck. This may be the result of a sneaky behavioral phenomenon called lifestyle creep.
Lifestyle creep is the common pattern of making a little more money and starting to spend a little bit more money. It happens almost automatically.
I think people hold these benchmarks in their mind. If I reach this position or I get this promotion or I make it to this age, then I can live this life, or then I deserve to have these things.
There's nothing wrong with wanting nice things. The mental, emotional reason why we want to acquire more is generally rooted in this need for like your perceived value.
So I have to say that
Bidenomics.
I have not been out doing a whole lot of shopping. I haven't really been to Lowe's very often, although it's something I normally do a lot of in the summer, or BJ's. I was out today and I was buying things and I was thinking, man, everything is so expensive all of a sudden. And then I went and got 3 bagels with cream cheese, 2 of them with lox, onions, capers. It was $26. $26 for 3 bagels. This is Joe Biden's America. This is Bidenomics.
I'm sorry, Subway. Do you guys remember $5 footlongs? We all remember $5 footlongs. What happened to those? Or just affordable footlongs in general? What the fuck happened? I just picked up 2 footlong sandwiches at Subway. Not like crazy extra meat, extra nothing. Just 2 footlong. Tell me why it cost me $30 fucking dollars. Dude, the cost of everything is astronomical. And I'm in New Hampshire. The minimum wage is still $7.25. And the cost of 2 Subway sandwiches will bring you to $30. If I were minimum wage, I would have to work over 4 hours to be able to afford those 2 sandwiches. Get me out of here.
So my husband.
And the thing is, instead of addressing the root of the problem, we are just told to work harder, get another job, or tighten our belts even further. But guess what? No, working harder isn't always the answer when the system itself is broken. So what's the solution, you might ask? Well, I think it's going to take more than just hustling harder. I think we need real change. I mean, we need to prioritize financial literacy from some kind of an early age, tackle the systemic issues like healthcare and affordable housing, and stop pretending like living paycheck to paycheck is a new normal. Yeah, we become complacent in this and things never change. Because let's face it, I think we deserve better than this, and we deserve a system that really works for us all and not just the wealthy elite. So let's just roll up our sleeves and demand the change, and really fight for the future where we can all thrive and not just survive. Things are really tough out here. I know that. So it's important for us to keep on bringing or sharing others' experiences in some kind of a common community, so we can all work together to elevate ourselves out of this, this mess. Thanks for tuning in to the OB podcast. See you in the next one. Cheers.